is abusive, he's throwing the game, etc., etc. But the Riot takes its own sweet time to check the logs, and it's a manual intervention. So Faceit, all of you are aware of Faceit. They've been working on this AI tool, which has been fed with millions and millions of chat lines, hundreds of thousands of voice chats, and millions of hours of game time. And it is able to detect the toxicity in real time, and it is able to avoid the toxicity during the match itself. And it also has a profile rating system, like how we have credit score, right? The tool is also built such a way that the profiles of the person who is toxic can be flagged accordingly. Now, I know for a fact that Faceit has implemented it, and Riot or Activision or quite a few people have taken inspiration from that particular AI tool, and they started implementing. It's not in their games yet, but in next, not 2-3 years, but at least in next 1 year, you'll get to see the AI tools avoiding toxicity in real time.
And what about the YouTube and streaming thing?
God help.
No, but I have seen so much of toxicity. I've dealt like personal level on stream and everything. But I think Vishwalok sir, do you want to say something on it, because I think you might have a good...
that is definitely true that there is a lot of toxicity, and you remember Masab, when we started a tournament called World Esports Cup, there was this tournament between India, Pakistan, and Nepal.
Yep.
So the kind of action which was happening at the in the chat box, it was crazy, because it was not about the game. It was like between India and Pakistan, people were just abusing each other. So obviously that is there. And with our platform, what we are trying to do, because we have already developed that AI whereby we are, detecting the gender and the kind of words that they are saying. So we are actually, feeding in, certain cuss words in that while those kinds of words are being used during the, audio that they are doing. So those would all will be recorded. And then those profiles would be flagged. They would be sent messages that you are going beyond the community guidelines and all those things. And and if there are reporting as well as the AI which is detecting such profiles, those would be banned from the platform.
That's a good initiative, sir. So you must have heard that esports is now a part of Olympics, by the way. It's happening in 2027. So soon, very soon, the gamers will be called Olympians. And right now, it's already happening. What are your views on the esports Olympic? I want to ask this question to everyone because we are going to get involved. So starting with Vishwalok, sir, yeah.
This is actually such a great thing, and that is what when we started, like in 2019, it was when I was convincing the management to actually get into it. So obviously now it is kind of a reality that gaming is a part of Olympics. It has already been considered a legit sport in Commonwealth Games and Asian Games, and India has also won a medal in like Asian Games and all of that. So it's a big thing, right? Now the parents also would realize that's a very good thing for all of us, and for especially the gamers. And another thing is Esports World Cup, which recently got announced, and it got like $70 million prize pool, which is like 580 crores, which is much, much bigger than an IPL or a World Cup of cricket or whatever you may say. So this is the next big thing which is happening. There is money in it, there is career in it, and now there is legitimacy with Olympics. It is coming into Olympics.
Vamsi.
He covered everything.
Everything. He made a detailed report.
Yeah.
Something to add here.
Yeah.
So I have a mixed feeling. Esports in Olympics, nah. Olympic esports, yes.
Yes.
Because esports in Olympic is, it's not esports, man. Sorry.
Right. They have changed the rules and everything.
Yeah, but it's not esports. But esports Olympic, that I'm excited. But second problem which I also foresee is that a lot of those games are not played in India.
Yeah.
That's my bigger concern. how will India represent there? So, but still we got 2 years, but yeah, those were my two small feedback.
So recently, we have heard the collaboration, Reliance and Blast. India lacks PC game, by the way, because we are a mobile-oriented market only. We play mobile games, and those games are banned multiple times. But with this recent collab between Blast and, no, you don't think so, but Blast can easily get 2, 3 regional qualifiers of CS or Apex Legend. They can directly send them.
My problem is, where is the player base? See,
You have to
that's
put the money in the community first to build that.
yeah, the way CS community was built, there was no money put.
Yeah.
But that was one game which was available. Then there was so many tournaments happening. It was not the prize pool. It was so many tournaments happening. When Valo came, that whole ecosystem was taken away by Valorant.
Right.
Okay, understandable. Same was the case with Dota. I see a lot of people still play casual Dota,
Right.
but competitive scene of Dota is completely gone.
Indeed.
But we have to get the players excited enough to actually compete to get the best in, because it's Olympics. It's only one team which is gonna represent India. How do you get that team? I think those are the challenges which I see right now. I agree, but I don't think Blast GOD will make any difference, because that JV will take time to get
Indeed.
started.
So just like Olympics, let's imagine in Olympics there are going to be 50 games or 30 games. Same is going to happen with esports Olympics. Different games will be played, different teams, and obviously we need we will be there for sure. Not playing all the games, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5. But what do you think about the government involvement? Because the main thing which esports is lacking right now is that authoritative body, that single body who will decide everything. There are multiple non-profit organizations, but
not decide, but at least set the rules.
set the rules. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I want to, because those sitting on this platform, I know should be saying it, but the reason IT grew in India was because government was not directly involved. Okay, so but that government guideline is always helpful. That one government guideline body which sets a guideline, I think that's what is missing.
We need right now. What do you think, Vamsi, about this? You've been elected as a 2 months acting chairman for a new group for esports.
So it's a challenge, actually. For once, I'll agree with Anurag.
On stage.
So the challenge is, rightly you said, right? The titles that Olympic esports are going to take place, probably 2 titles that we probably have a decent professional community in, that CS and Valorant. Right. PUBG Mobile is not in India, so BGMI players can't go and
Play the game.
play the game there. Dota, we don't have professional players. League of Legends, we don't have professional
Yeah,
players.
FIFA.
FIFA is not to the
Not
global
even sure
scale.
that we can win the medal in it.
So the way I see it is, it's a great opportunity for entrepreneurs like us, right? When you see a problem and you bring a solution, that's a business opportunity. That's
Right.
how I see it. So we have 2 years, and that's what we are working towards. And whether it's me as my company or Anurag and his company, and there are quite a few people who have vested interest to grow esports in India. If we can see this opportunity and capitalize and monetize it, I think in 2 years we can have a decent professionals representing titles that are not strong today.
Right.
Yeah.
And Vijay, because we are talking about government involvement, so do you think that we can have this body, because now we are working on something. How do you see that the rules and regulation? Because see, one thing I will tell you, my personal experience. So let's say I won a tournament. For example, TC is organizing or Newgen is organizing, and I won 10 lakh rupees. Nobody helped me to win that event because it was me and my boys. I got the 10 lakh, but in reality, I'm just getting the 7 lakh rupees straight on 30% taxes deducted by the government, where nobody's paying the Wi-Fi bill, nobody's paying for my device bill. I'm getting none subsidy. So how do you see this?
Sure. So I'm going to take this and the toxicity question together,
Yeah.
right? Now, I saw many people nodding their head when you asked the question, how many of you have had toxic online experiences? Now, specific in esports and related to gaming as well, I've always found it difficult to differentiate between regular sledging and the really toxic one, right? Because sledging, I'm sure all of you also, it adds to the drama of the sport. It's fun to some extent, right? But not when it starts affecting the other person, right? So it's very hard to draw that boundary. But does it exist? Absolutely, it does. And this is where I think the government, to their credit, specifically this particular government, have taken it very, very seriously, right? What I would like to call out to everyone in the interest of public, in the public interest is, if you've not heard of the I4C, which is nothing but the Indian Central Cybercrime Coordination Cell. If any of you have ever had the experience of filing a police complaint, it's horrendous depending on the district and the state that you're in, right? The one good thing with respect to cybercrime, there's no good thing about any crime, but at least with cybercrime, is that you get to sort of file the complaint online and it is directly sent to the exact police station that is supposed to handle it, right? So do not take, I leave to each one of you to decide what is sledging, right? But there is no reason for you to accept toxic behavior online, right? Because it takes every one of us to change the discourse. The reason people get away with toxicity is because they feel that they can get away with it, right? They're anonymous, they don't know who they are, right? But if you have specific coordinates, and I encourage all of you to go online and see, the website is, of course, the highest priority for the government is to curtail CSAM, which is pornographic material. The second highest is financial fraud, because there is an actual loss. But there is also, provisions for the protection of women, specifically and children as well, right? So I encourage you to go and look at it. And that's where I think the 30% is going, because all of that requires money and effort to go through. Can they do better?
Yeah.
Absolutely, they can do better. Okay. But I actually kind of agree with Anurag sir in the, at least in that very, to the limit that having a free and open system where there is open competition, where there are multiple bodies, will eventually help the sector grow, right? Because it's somewhat similar to the Olympic story. And because all of you were discussing the Olympics, I'm not an expert in that. All of these people are. India started actually winning medals when you saw the private sector invest into training people and getting that. Lucky for esports that the private sector has taken the lead. I would like to see the lead exist for a few more years before the government wakes up and does something.
Government only need to set the guidelines, not run it. Trust me, running for government is going to be very hard and detrimental for esports. That's why I said, gave you example of IT sector. Government was only setting the guidelines, but it was the private companies who was running the business. Similarly, in esports also, yes, but the guidelines are missing. That's my whole issue with our